and this and this.
You guys aren't even in the picture.
I went slightly
Exactly
over.
what I wanted.
I went slightly overboard today on the lineups.
On your what?
He made a bunch of lineups for this weekend.
I made like 100 lineups. No, I spent about. I legit. I think I spent about $100.
Where's the page at?
I think that Josh Allen lineup with him at quarterback,
Dude, that was my favorite one of all your lineups.
the
And that-
like
that-
the
then that's-
4-game slate.
Yeah. No, I was talking about the showdown lineup.
I like
But
that
yeah,
one
I
too.
like that one too.
We're talking about. See, I like because I got one of Allen, Kamara, Sanders, Beasley, Corey Davis, DK Metcalf, Jared Cook, Stephon Diggs, and the Eagles defense.
Yeah, I looked at all of them. Which I don't
The
know.
one, I'm not in love with the Eagles defense, but the whole
I
Travis.
don't mind them.
The Travis Homer thing. Last time they played the Seahawks, they had 6 sacks. Have any spare bottles?
I just threw it away if you want.
Please, sir.
Brian, how you feeling?
Good as hell. Yeah, arms. Look at that shiny dome. No hair on the dome.
That motherfucking song played today at work.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, so you guys want to hear something funny? They're like, what? I'm like, me and the guys on the back row did a review on this song, like a reaction video.
Reaction, yeah.
I'm like, now here's the funniest part about it. We get between 200 and 400 downloads an episode, you know, and we got 115 views. Our first go out on this damn stuff. I'm like, I don't even understand it.
The only notes I have are the Buffalo Houston game.
People like the
That's
reaction
as far as
videos,
I
man.
got.
I don't have notes.
Well, I was gonna at least have something to talk about with the games, but fuck it.
Get that mic close to you,
I
Huxley.
know I'm working on it, buddy.
Oh, I just need to check levels
I'm
because
working on
me and
that.
Arms is different mics.
Oh.
I can't help myself.
I raised the chair up before I sat down. It's the first time I've done that. I feel better now. I'm all up here and shit.
Oh yeah.
Fart on my face.
It might not look
Yeah, friggin' kids, man. Friggin' friggin'
Alexa,
children, dude.
Alexa showed me that. I'm like, what the? Was that real?
Yeah, it's real.
Well,
Yeah.
the kid, that's that kid's way of saying, well, fuck my ass.
Basically.
Is it?
Funny story, he messaged back and said, sorry, my immature brother got a hold of my phone.
That sounds legit.
Fart on my face.
Fart on my face.
Fart on my face.
Yeah, that sounds like something like a little 10-year-old would say.
It does, especially one with the dog ears and the dog nose filter.
I don't see what the problem with that
It's
is.
always good. Talk for me, Hux.
To be honest
I'm
with you.
trying to. Hold
It
on.
kind of sounds good as hell if you want to know my opinion.
Good as hell.
Are you still wanting me to talk?
Yeah, I just need to fix some levels.
Yep.
Talk, Hux.
Talk, Hux.
So sometimes
Talk.
Arms.
late at night,
Arm. Hey, he didn't say arms talk.
Actually, I do need arms to
Oh,
talk.
well,
I fucking refuse.
Could you talk for me?
talk arms.
What do you want me to say? I'm on the spot. I don't know.
There.
What to say. No, actually, you want to talk about talking?
I think we got it.
My freaking boss. So yesterday, I work Saturday. I work tomorrow.
You work Saturday?
Yeah.
Saturday.
Oh, man.
So my
Saturday.
boss sends out this email and says, anybody who has a success story, please share it.
Saturday.
All right.
Saturday.
So Chelsea, my banker, she sends in, I don't know if this really constitutes what you want, but
Saturday.
here's my, interaction with this one lady.
Saturday.
I get to the office this morning.
Saturday night.
Hey, Aaron, it literally sent from like the main guy's assistant. Aaron, we really appreciate you volunteering to talk on the call on Monday.
Do you
The
have
retail
any
folks
idea what
called
he
it
just
the whole
said?
fucking
I have
bank
no
listens
idea what
to
he
it.
just talked about.
Monday.
All right.
Monday.
You guys are going to have a real good time doing the show by yourself.
Oh, God.
Arms, you're that good, buddy. You get volunteered for everything.
Oh, I was so pissed off. I don't like doing it. It's one of those, it's a privilege that nobody really wants to have.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fucking stupid. You're fucking stupid.
Talk again, Arms.
I was talking as you said talk again. I'm not sure what more you could possibly want from me.
You're just not coming through as clear as I'd like you to come through.
Is this better?
It's a little better. I just need you to
My
talk.
mustache is quite literally touching the dust thing, and I don't think I like that.
Gotta change arms to a soft voice.
What?
Soft voice tone.
Soft voice tone.
Soft man over there.
So,
you soft, cuddly.
Did the
teddy
Bills
bear.
win the division? They didn't.
No.
They
Are you
didn't.
kidding me?
They won. They lost on tiebreaker, didn't they?
No.
No, they
buddy,
lost, didn't they? Lost last week, didn't they?
It wouldn't have mattered anyways. They were 2 games back.
Truth.
12-4 to 10-6, buddy.
I thought that they beat the Pats.
No.
They didn't.
No.
They're going to beat them this week, which is very
Bills
reflect-
are?
The Bills play the Texans, buddy. The Titans play the Pats.
Yeah, no, the Titans are going to beat them this week.
I don't think so. Everybody thinks so, but I
I
don't
actually
think so.
have like
I hope so.
I'm
me too.
hot on the fucking Titans this week. Hot.
Hot.
I'm not
Hot like a
also-
toiga.
Yeah, I'm way up on them. Really.
Hot like a toiga.
Tweet like a toy gun.
Nope, tort like a toga.
Tweet. Tweet like a toiga. Well, since we're going a little bit off the rails anyways,
Tweet.
like I know you guys have things you want to talk about. We want to talk about playoffs.
I really don't. Yeah, I mean, I don't.
Playoffs? Playoffs?
Saturdays? I feel like going off the rails a little bit.
Whatever.
I don't even have a laptop in front of me. I
I
mean,
see
that's-
that. You're just
you
kind
know,
of just winging it.
fucking winging it, man.
Fucking winging it.
Fucking winging it. All right. You know what? Let's just dive in.
Dive on in.
Today on the back roof, fuck, I didn't even hit record. Jesus Christ. Now I did.
Jesus.
All right, 3, 2, 1. Today on the Back Row Fantasy Show, we talk about the wild card round of the playoffs, and we're going to go a little bit off the rails and have fun with it since it's week 18 and there's not that many games going on the Back Row Fantasy Show starting now.
Welcome to the Back Row Fantasy Show with your hosts, Jeremy Barker, Aaron Arms, and Brian Hucks.
Today on the Back Row Fantasy Show, we talk. Blooper reel. Let's try again. Today on the Back Row Fantasy Show, we talk the wild card round of the playoffs, and we're going to go a little bit off the rails since it's week 18 and there's not that many games going on the Back Row Fantasy Show starting now.
Welcome to the Back Row Fantasy Show with your hosts, Jeremy Barker, Aaron Arms, and Brian Hucks.
Hey, welcome to another episode of the Back Row Fantasy Show. As usual, mostly, at least the past few weeks, it's me, Bark. To my left is Arms.
Good morning.
To my right is Hucks.
Hello.
Howdy.
Hey.
So I've had like 1.5 beers and I just can't seem to get this thing right this week. So
Completely understand.
happens.
I couldn't. I tried to spit out a sentence the last 5 minutes of work. Just couldn't get it out. I just walked away. Like, this is horrible. I don't know what I'm
You
saying.
need to do that more often. Walk away.
That's Fridays for you, man.
Would you like to walk
Fridays.
outside?
Let's go.
Oh, man.
Whoa.
Old man.
Whoa.
Man. I'm not even the oldest one in the room.
Shut your faces. Ouch. Yeah. You're not the handsomest one in the room either.
I know.
Neither are you, Arms.
Yeah.
Neither are you, Barker.
Suck on that.
Yeah.
Well, who is? That little bobblehead guy over there.
That guy over
Oh,
there.
yeah.
The ghost.
Way better looking than we are.
The Scarlet Ghost from the Misfits. Congratulations, Ghost. You are the most handsome man in the back row this week.
All right, Derry. Okay. All right, Derry. Okay.
There. Well, all right. So thanks for joining us. We're kind of excited to go a little bit off the rails for one, and also to talk some playoff games and to do our back row reaction videos right after, which we had some fun with last week. So we've got a busy evening scheduled, but we should only be bringing you an hour of power of Back Row Fantasy Show because you as the listener deserve less.
Power.
Wait a minute.
hour.
That's
Hey,
not what I meant to say. You as the listener, you don't have to. The work commute isn't 2 hours long.
Yeah, not many people have an hour and a half drive.
Dude, I don't listen to an hour and a half podcast.
And quite frankly, you probably get sick of us. So
Yeah. I mean,
Less is more. It's better. Less is better.
Less is more.
Less is more.
Less.
indeed.
So that's what we're going to do. So since we were talking about it a little bit, look, well, you know what? Let's talk about
Oh my
some-
God!
Yeah.
Get a direction and go.
Chill out. I was going
Find your hole and hit it.
This is why they last an hour and a half.
Yeah,
Right here.
exactly. Okay, so I'll streamline it. I was getting ready to start talking about a playoff game because we were on that path.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
Sounds good.
what about the coaches' firings? I mean, Freddie Kitchens, he's gone.
Gone.
Thank God.
Jason Garrett reportedly
Finally gone.
going to be gone.
Well, here's what I don't get about Jason
Finally.
Garrett. Like, didn't Jerry Jones fire Barry Switzer like after one disagreement?
Yeah, we talked about this last week.
Yeah, but Garrett's
This
just
is why they
Yeah.
go an hour and 45 minutes.
Barry Switzer wanted to be his own, do
The
his own
GM.
thing. Or, I mean, he just wanted. He wasn't able to be bossed around like a Jason Garrett. He wasn't a yes man. That's what the whole problem was.
Dude, I shit you
I'm sure
not.
there was more
but
to
it
it.
shows like most of his success, with Jimmy Johnson,
Yeah.
Barry Switzer, is with people who have strong personalities, and then you've got Mr. Smiley and agree with Jerry.
Yeah. Jason Garrett was a yes man.
I swear to God, I'm gonna have to bring him up on the next episode. My kids have a really large size GI Joe with fiery red hair that looks just like Jason Garrett.
It's
Except,
not.
Except inspirational.
Think of the name of that one.
well, I don't
know.
know. I think they're generic GI generics.
Oh, okay.
I think they're generic Joes.
GI Generic Extreme.
Yeah. And the Cobras aren't Cobras. They're Gardner snakes.
I like it.
So what else is open? What other coaching vacancies?
Well, I know Freddie Kitchens is gone.
Cleveland, Dallas.
John Dorsey is gone, surprisingly. I mean,
Yeah.
he did
Not-
it.
He did.
Yeah, that's not on him.
Yeah, he created a paper champion.
There we
He
go.
did.
He created a
And-
paper champion, and then apparently Freddie Kitchens messed it all up.
Yep.
So the organization, did you see the line, like the offensive coordinator was telling the opposing teams before they played, like, this team's a friggin' mess, man. Like, he was telling other coaches, the team's a mess, and that Freddie Kitchens did not stick to the game plans at all. Like, they'd go through a whole week, get a game plan together, and Freddie Kitchens is just like, piss on that, run the option.
Well, did you see whenever he scratched Baker Mayfield under the chin, and Baker Mayfield's like, I
Guy's
guess an idiot.
Yeah.
What do you do?
There's a video on the sidelines, like in
Yeah.
the middle of a game. Kitchens came
gave
up
him,
to
like,
him,
one of
was like
these.
trying to rub up under his beard, and Baker's like fighting him off. And like as he's walking away, he turned to the teammates like, "That guy's an idiot." Yeah. So
I mean, just one of those guys clearly better suited for a coordinator role.
yeah.
So is it possible, and I hate to give him a free pass, was Baker regressed? There's no doubt about
Oh yeah,
that.
sophomore slump.
But was it a lot of it due to Kitchens?
Yeah,
Yeah. Partially.
I
yeah.
think absolutely.
A lot, yeah.
Now, with that being said, Kitchens isn't out on the field, right? He's not the one pulling the trigger on the bad throws.
Right.
The routes were still ran, but were they ran into bad defenses? You know what I mean? Were the plays called into bad
If
defenses?
the story's actually true about them game planning one way and then running plays, practicing plays throughout the week, and then them just changing it up as the game goes on, it's like, why are we running this?
Yeah,
shit?
like, all right, guys, I know we never actually did this in practice, but we're going to do a double reverse pass.
Yeah.
Wait, what? And I know it's not that extreme, but still, continuity matters.
Yeah.
Practice matters. I know that a lot of people will
Practice?
get. Yeah, I knew he was going to go down that road. But a lot of people
talking about
think,
practice.
Oh, you don't need practice.
Old Town Road?
But this is not the Patriots. This is not an established team like the Saints, a team that could take a couple days off and still be fine because they have a ton of chemistry.
Yeah.
It's the Browns. They're still a young team, and they need as much chemistry as they can get. I mean,
Yeah.
you're talking, all right, we're going to send one of the best wide receivers in the league, Odell Beckham Jr. We're going to have him run this route, this route, and this route. These 3 routes pretty much all week, and now we're going to change it up. It's stupid.
Yeah.
Not going to take my
So, yeah,
Browns to
it-
the playoff road.
It did surprise me a little bit with Dorsey, but it obviously seemed like he wants to call the shots. He wants to bring in another coach that he can control pretty much, and Haslam, arguably the worst owner in sports.
Have you heard of Dan Snyder?
I said arguably.
Okay.
Arguably. Hey, they got rid of that shitty GM and Bruce Allen.
I don't
they're
hate
step
that.
in the right direction. But yeah, Haslam wanted to bring in a guy that like a veteran type, or I don't know, a guy that
Someone more established.
Established. Maybe, I don't know, the guys they're interviewing. I mean, they interviewed McCarthy, but I don't know. It'll be interesting to see who actually takes that job.
Yeah. I forgot I need my laptop because if anybody want to chat with us, I'm just sitting here without it, like
Need
singing
some
Old Town Road.
Listener questions.
So who do you guys think is the most likely move? You know what I mean? The most likely person that's willing.
It's the Browns.
To go to the
it's,
Browns.
It's probably Josh McDaniels because it's the Browns.
I'm going Josh McDaniels. I think that's who they want. Whether he takes it, I'm not 100% sure, but the everything I'm reading is they're wanting him, and he's going to bring in I can't think of the guy's name off the top of my head, but the guy with him to be the GM. So, but I think that's who they end up with. I think McDaniels finally leaves New England.
Okay,
Again.
so the just pulled up CBS Sports, and if someone's already taken a job, like, sorry, I haven't followed it that close, but like number one,
Redskins is the only one that's hired anybody, I believe.
that's what I
Rivera.
thought. So according to CBS Sports, the top 10 guys, the available prospects for head coaches: Eric Bieniemy,
He interviewed today for Cleveland.
He's a hot name.
Matt Eberflus, the defensive coordinator for the Colts, Mike McCarthy, Dave Tube. I don't even know who that guy is.
Tubester.
Kevin Stefanski, Lincoln Riley, Matt Rule, Josh McDaniels. Then you always hear names like Harbaugh, Jim Harbaugh, of course, Urban Meyer.
Yeah.
You know, those names are always thrown out. Everyone.
Will Urban Meyer ever actually come to the?
He shouldn't.
No,
I don't think so.
agree.
But no, they interviewed. They requested. I don't know if they actually interviewed, but Greg Roman, the offense coordinator for Baltimore, and Saleh, the defense coordinator for the 49ers. There's another name that was linked.
Dude, I love that guy.
He's
really
a hot
do.
name out right now, so he could end up with one of these spots because, I mean, you got Carolina open. You got
Hot names.
They have them listed as the 9th and 10th prospects. So.
Hot names.
what other teams are open? Carolina, Cleveland, Dallas.
Giants. Shermer got
Giants.
fired.
Yeah, that's right.
Real. I mean, the Giants' job is actually desirable.
It is.
It's fairly appealing. But then you run into, all right, I know Danny Dimes had flashes,
Yeah.
but then do you run into a guy, I think this is going to be part of the conversation. Are you, from Gettleman, are you ready to move forward with Daniel Jones? Or,
Yes.
is that they're going to ask the head coach prospects.
The head coach is going to have to be on board with Danny Dimes.
I agree.
It's not going to be like, well, I didn't really want Josh Rosen, so let's draft Kyler.
Well, I mean, Kingsbury was coming out of college, too.
Right. But let's talk playoff games.
Yeah.
I will say real quick, I feel like Saleh, to me on this list, is probably like my favorite out of all of them, out of the top 10. I don't like Josh McDaniels as a head coach. He's failed before.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of McDaniels.
I don't mind Lincoln Riley, but that's one of those. What is he? Does Lincoln Riley? If there's a reunion with Lincoln Riley and Baker, does that is that big? By the way, Tube is Casey's assistant. Sorry, to go off track on that. But
Quick question: you guys cool with that?
yeah.
Dynasty Rob, I believe that's our boy Rob Sprout. He says if Cam leaves, who gets the starting job, Kyle Allen or Will Grier? Can we all agree neither?
I'm going to go neither.
Neither.
I think Will Grier.
I know that Dwayne Haskins looked pitiful and figued it out a little
There
bit.
we go. That's what I was going to say.
I don't know if Will Grier's the kind of guy that's going to figure it
What,
out.
what pick did Carolina end up with?
Oh, why you ask questions so quick?
Seriously, just in the middle of.
I'm just curious. Are they in the spot? I mean,
Justin Herbert.
yeah. I was say, are they in a spot for Herbert?
But Herbert or Tua could literally fall to 20.
Nah, yeah, I guess it's possible.
Tua's health is a question mark, and Herbert.
7th. They picked 7th.
I know he just won a big game, won Rose Bowl, and he looked fine. But sorry, I'm gonna be upset if the Raiders like go after Herbert at 12.
I don't want Miami to go after Herbert either. And I mean, it could be.
I think it's a lock for Tua to Miami at 5. I think it's a lock.
Is he coming out for sure though?
He hasn't announced. But
If he comes out, I agree, unless somebody jumps him.
yeah.
Which I think is highly possible because I still think Tua is arguably just as good a pick as Joe Burrows, if not better.
Well, I don't know about all that, but no, I just think Tua to Miami makes sense right there at 5.
2 is incredible. I'll give you that. And I guess if he was healthy, without the injury concerns, they're on par with each other. You can actually make the argument that 2 is a better prospect because he's done well for 2-3 years. Did he start for 3-4 years, or just the national championship game in 2 years?
Yeah, I think 2 years.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's what
yeah,
I thought.
I think 2
And he didn't even start national championship, but he's special. There's no doubt about it. Yeah, I mean, interesting. By the way, let's see, Bengals, they fired their coach.
No.
No, they
No.
didn't.
No.
Zach Taylor.
14.
And year one,
He's safe. For
there's
a
some.
little bit.
Look, the Bengals showed some promise the last 6-7
I'm
weeks.
not hating on them. I'm
Did
just
they?
I think so. They were close. There were a lot of close games.
That's true.
They-
Mixon turned it on.
Mixon
Good to
was
see.
awesome the last 6-7 weeks of the season.
Yeah, we
The
all waited on
The
that.
offensive line played better.
speaking of buy low candidate, right there.
I don't even know if he's a buy low anymore the way he finished the season.
No, I don't think he is.
But you look at the total work, right? It's 2-14 team. If his season as a whole sucked, he did do real well at the very end, but he was bad for like
He
10
was.
weeks.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, he didn't do a lot.
So
But let's I can't wait to get into draft season. We'll luckily we'll start talking free agency and draft as soon as these playoffs are over. But
by the way, just serious. I know we mentioned it. You're saying Tua is a lock. If he gets past Miami, the Chargers.
he's not getting past. I really don't believe he's getting past Miami.
No, I don't either.
No chance.
But if you,
But yeah.
He's a value at pick 5. I think someone jumps Miami.
I'm not sure that he goes past pick 3 to Detroit.
It's possible.
Yeah.
I mean-
Stafford's a free agent.
There's multiple teams. I mean, the argument can be made. However you feel about Danny Dimes, right? He's not going to Washington because Haskins showed promise at the end of the
Right.
season. So you got Cincy, Detroit at 3, the Giants at 4, which they're not taking him.
Be a savvy pick by Detroit if they did surprise and take Tua.
Oh, I agree. I mean, they've got offensive weapons. Miami, Los Angeles, Carolina, not going to Arizona, the Jaguars.
Never know about Arizona. Wild card. Always a chance.
There's a small chance. but
Always a chance.
Jaguars, they could definitely be
The
in play.
Jaguars at 9. The Browns aren't taking him. The Jets,
No.
I don't think so either. The Raiders at 12.
Possible.
The Colts at 13.
Possible. I don't think so, but
Tampa
possible.
Bay at 14. With the end of
Yeah, and
the
this-
Jameis era, the Broncos at 15. I mean, Tua could literally go.
No way. Drew Lock's a star. Didn't you see him?
Rapping.
He's a star.
He looks like Mr. Rogers singing gangster rap. Kind of strange.
Ironically, I was listening to just letting podcasts play, and it was catching up at the end of some podcasts that I stopped earlier when I was listening to First Draft from last year pre-draft. So it's Kuiper, McShay, Chris Sproul.
Digging deep.
Yeah, it was just playing through, and I don't know, I just didn't feel like changing. I was driving home, and they were talking about how Locke was like the number 2 or 3 quarterback in last year's draft class. When did he get drafted? He was undrafted free agent, wasn't he?
Lock? No, he's second round,
Was he
wasn't
second? Man, I feel like he was way later than that.
he? No, he was second round, I'm pretty sure.
You know what? You're right. Who am I thinking of?
I don't know.
It doesn't matter. It's not that important.
Nope.
It doesn't matter. All right,
Not
let's
that-
talk playoffs, guys.
Let's
so
go.
we were talking before we hit record on the actual
was second.
podcast.
You're right.
Again, you can hear some of the pre-show chatter if you want to join us on the live stream that airs on Periscope, YouTube, and Twitch. But we were talking about the Patriots and Titans, and Hux was saying it is kind of a not a consensus, but the majority of folks believe the Titans are going to take this game.
Yeah, I mean, everything I'm reading, the Titans are the hot team.
I agree.
A down Patriots.
That
You know,
just got beat by Miami.
Got beat by Miami, lost the bye week.
Told you,
which
Miami
is-
always gets one.
They do, and
Isn't it incredible?
I couldn't believe it.
They
It
played
shocked me. They,
for what their team is. They played incredible over the second half
they
of the
did.
season.
They really did.
Did what Cincinnati did. just improved.
Better.
Improved.
I know, but
Yeah.
just at the end of this, you just figure both of them were the only games they're going to win, or, against each other.
Yeah.
And I mean, they finished 5 wins?
Yeah.
Yeah, they did 5 wins.
And I think the Patriots in the first meeting beat them 42 or 43 to nothing.
yeah, it was.
And
it was
Miami
pretty bad.
ekes
It might
out
even
a
been
win.
wor- It might have even been worse than that.
And that pass by Fitzpatrick to Gesicki at the end, my God, it was exciting. Exciting time to be a Dolphins fan when we thought we were all just in the shit house.
Yeah, I mean, you got to hit on those draft picks, but I mean, there's plenty of them to go around.
Right.
I will tell you, since we're on that game, man, I'm on DraftKings. Like, I'm real hot on Tennessee. I'm
too.
pretty down. You guys know I like the showdowns, but I'm pretty down on, like, I've only got 1 or 2 Patriots at any of my lineups. Of course, you always got to throw one in there that's got, like the Patriots defense, because they do have that ability to turn it on. But it kind of looks like they just beat up on a bunch of nobodies. And then whenever
They
the time
did.
came,
Yeah.
the challenge came, they became above average.
And there's no
Not good,
denying
not great, above average.
Tom Brady's lost a step.
He has.
There's no denying it. Can he get it back in the playoffs? I don't know. I mean, he's older. He's played all the games. He's probably more tired, a little more sore, a little more, his limbs aren't working how they used to. I mean, shit tightens up.
Yeah.
You can't. Your arm's not going to be limber enough, and you're not going to be limber enough to have the same throwing motion 20 years into being in the league.
Let me tell you, I have one lineup in that game out of like 6. It's the featured game of the week, or of Saturday.
Yeah,
featured Saturday game. I have one lineup with Tom Brady in it. Like, I just don't think he does well.
I like your strategy of, like, even though I don't think he's going to play well, I'm going to go against the grain and do one lineup against my train of thought.
Mm-hmm.
You got to do that in DraftKings, in my opinion.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, it's I like the Titans too. I hate to just go with the rest of fantasy football world and football world, but the Titans are playing really well, and the Patriots just are not.
But
I think it carries over.
so let's talk about how I know that the football world and myself, like, I'm on Tennessee, but the Patriots' run defense still only allowed 2 touchdowns to
Oh, yeah.
running backs all year.
defense is gonna
one in
be-
the air, one on the ground. That's it.
I think this is going to be a low-scoring 20-17 ball game or something like that.
I agree with that.
I think, honestly, the Patriots pull it out, but I think it's going to be their defense. They're going to have to get something out of Sony Michel, and it's just going to be a sloppy game, I think.
They always pull it out, and it's always sloppy, but they always make a championship baby.
Yeah.
They do. It's disgusting.
It's
I think they can get by the Titans. I'm not sure they can go any further, not with the Chiefs and the Ravens this year.
Yeah, I don't think so, but I really don't think they get past the Titans. I mean, regardless of them only
I
giving
hope-
up 2
yeah.
touchdowns, Derrick Henry's a different animal.
Derrick Henry has been balling.
Yeah, different animal. A.J. Brown is hitting that stride at the right time.
Ryan Tannehill was
Tannehill.
like top 3 quarterback
Yeah.
for
Ryan
the games he
Tannehill's
started.
a super stud.
I mean, if only Miami would have had a quarterback like Ryan Tannehill.
That joke's getting old.
It's still true.
It's not true at all.
The stats are bearing out that it is.
So
Yeah, this style of offense has fit Tannehill very well.
just
Confident?
you fellas talk, and I'm gonna give you some truths.
Let me ask you this, though. And I know this was your guy. It's like, I was
Who?
A.J. Brown.
Yeah,
Oh,
definitely.
yeah.
I was big on A.J.
Yeah,
Brown
it
as
was.
well.
Yeah.
So, I mean, looking forward into next season, where do you see A.J. Brown? I mean, is he a 1,400-yard receiver, like a 100-catch, 1,400-yard receiver kind of guy?
I don't know if the
No, I
offense
don't-
is set up for
Yeah,
that
I don't
yet.
think so. Not quite.
I mean, he
but-
finished with over 900 yards this year. I think he may have even broke 1,000.
Right.
I mean, with inconsistency at quarterback at
Well,
best,
the big thing with Tennessee is Derrick Henry is a free agent.
he gets re-signed. No doubt about
I
it.
mean, I believe they're going to try, but are they going to fork out the money? I mean, the guy just led the league in rushing over 1,500 yards.
Interesting comment by Kate from Ball Blast. She's like, imagine Derrick Henry signing with Pittsburgh.
Yeah. I've thought about that. What about him going to Seattle?
There's no need for that out there.
Well, I mean,
but-
Carson only got 1 year left. He just got hurt. Penny, has been hit or miss. I just think, Henry.
But
would
they're
fit
the
that
island
offense.
of misfit toys at running back, though. They
Yeah.
like even Marshawn when he went there, he wasn't great before he got there.
Right.
They do something there, and they kill. Marshawn was like a 1,100-yard back before. He gets there and it's like a 1,500 yard back.
Well, yeah, it's just the style of offense.
Here's
It's
the
a
thing.
run-first offense. And
By the way, A.J. Brown this year, 52 catches, 84 targets, 1,051 yards, eight touchdowns. Better on the road than at home.
yeah,
He-
the Titans were better on the road.
Knowing
this
that, knowing that stat, he is capable of 1,400 even in that offense. A year two jump from 1,050 to 1,400. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
he started very slow.
with a healthy Adam Humphries. You know, you basically a little bit of people take the pressure off of him. I like it. I'm not going to
figure he'll probably add 40 to 50 targets to that number at least.
probably. I mean, if you look at the beginning of his season, like he wasn't incredible at the beginning of the season. I mean, at the end is where he really
Yeah.
started taking off.
He was very good when given the opportunity. Like he had those one catch for 50 yards and a touchdown type of games, but I mean he started picking up the pace as the season went on. I want to throw this at you real quick though. Ryan Tannehill, while he did have his best completion percentage ever, 70%, that's pretty balling.
Damn good.
His best average yards per completion, 9.6. That's excellent. His TD to interception ratio, 22 versus 6. That's good. His rating was 117.5. But it is easy to forget, even though that was his best season in those categories, he did put up 3 years in a row with Miami, 12 interceptions 3 years in a row. That's not hateful.
No.
And
I
he
was gonna
had
say, you can't hate on that.
and he had 27 touchdowns, 24 and 19 against those 12 in those years. So I mean, he's had solid years in Miami. There was never a good enough team around him for one, and two. I mean, I do not expect 2020 Ryan Tannehill to be a top 10 quarterback. 15, sure. 12, maybe. But I still Tannehill is much better than Marcus Mariota, and I think he deserves to be signed. But I don't think he's all of a sudden going to be this fantasy star.
Do you think that he's a Titan next year?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I do too.
Just like Kenyon Drake will be a Cardinal. Like these teams aren't going to let these guys go.
I agree with you.
They're going to take these old cast-off Dolphins and be like, "Whoa, we got another Wes Welker situation here. Sign him, play
Drake,
him
Drake
till
I'm
they
not
die."
so sure about, but yeah, I believe Tannehill.
Positive on Drake.
I'm positive on both of them. I think
Positive on Drake.
dead on both of them.
It's a great fit. Drake would be insane to leave that situation. It is the perfect situation for him. He's a good pass-catching back.
Oh yeah, it's a great situation.
Kyler Murray is going to set him up for success because teams aren't going to know exactly. If the Cardinals, I know they just added a bunch of wide receivers in the draft and they've got young guys, but they still need a wide receiver still. Like none of those guys have stepped up to the point to where they can ignore wide receiver in the draft. They had a talented
Jerry
Judy. I'm thinking veteran. There's some solid veterans in free agency, I believe.
You said they had pick 8, right?
Yes, something
I've
like
seen
that.
a lot of people put CeeDee Lamb there, reunite him with Kyler.
Yeah. I mean, that'd be fantastic.
Yeah.
But a top-notch free agent, maybe if Dallas whiffs on an Amari Cooper,
I feel like Amari's going to want a ton of money, though.
he might.
I mean, 2 years in a row, 1,000, 1,100, 1,200 yards, whatever he had.
Maybe kick the tires on A.J. Green if he doesn't re-sign. Like,
A.J. Green would be the perfect veteran replacement for Larry Fitzgerald.
Yeah.
I agree.
I will tell you, it's still, if it's an A.J. Green that goes there, because I'm not 100% sure Larry Fitzgerald retires. It's Larry freaking
I'm
Fitzgerald.
not either.
But even if they bring him in, all that does is muddies the waters in Arizona at their wide receiver situation. Because they've got some promising young guys. I mean, Christian
But
Kirk.
Kirk is really the only one that stepped up and did anything.
Isabella had some flashes.
He did.
And Keyshawn Johnson's looked good in spot duty.
Yeah,
Like,
they've
he's
got
been
a good,
great.
They've got a good future.
Wasn't there another one that got hurt early on, like real early? It was a
Hakeem Butler?
Butler, yeah.
Yeah, I'm
just
way
saying
off
that
of
they-
Hakeem Butler. I
Right.
didn't like him pre-draft last year, but he could develop.
I didn't love him, but I mean, yeah, it could be one of those things. We hated DK Metcalf too.
Yeah.
So, things happen.
DK did. We hated DK for his likelihood to offensive pass interference. Hakeem Butler, if you watch a lot of, he's a body catcher, and that's the reason I didn't like him. Like,
Well,
that doesn't work out well in the NFL.
We deemed DK is stiff and a straight line one-trick kind of pony. And honestly, he kind of was a one-trick pony for Seattle. He was a downfield, go up and get it guy. He just did it really well.
Yeah.
And he didn't get hurt.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that big frame didn't hurt him. So,
I mean, still has questions about lateral agility, but we're not even on that game. So
Dynasty Rob also said, speaking of the Bengals a few minutes ago, does Dalton stay? No.
no, God,
No, they ruined that by and they were right to ruin it. They don't need to hang on to Andy Dalton.
Andy Dalton is a backup,
Yeah.
and he should have been a backup. After his first 3 or 4 years in the league, that's what he should have been.
And Ryan Finley could develop into an okay backup. It's Joe Burrow. There's no reason for
Yeah,
Dalton.
no, obviously Burrows is going number one.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess they could be. He's going number one no matter what.
I
mean, Cincinnati
agree.
could
Ohio
be-
kid, Cincinnati, it's just a match made in heaven.
It is, but I mean, I'm not 100% on Cincinnati taking them. They could be blown away by a trade. Anyways, probably not.
99% because Burrow's going to put asses in the seats in Cincinnati.
But there's still the possibility that Chase Young's the best player in the draft. Let's realize that. Talent-wise, he's the best player in the draft at arguably the second most important position.
If you're not taking Burrow, you're trading. So
Do you trade back?
Yeah, because you could trade back. Who picks second? I mean, they probably don't need a quarterback.
no, like you said, Detroit at 3, Miami at 5.
Okay, so they do trade back with Detroit. Well, Chase Young's gone at that point.
Yeah.
Because he's definitely going to be a Redskin if that's the case.
But maybe they covet Tua and drop back and watch Chase and Joe Burrows go off the board. And who knows? Who knows? I'm excited for draft season, but we'll get there.
Hopefully they finally just make a good decision. You know.
They're on their way. I mean, Marvin Lewis is gone.
Yeah.
Andy Dalton will be next. I mean, this was destined to be a tough year for him. I don't think anybody expected big wins out of them with a rookie head coach and the same quarterback and mostly the same pieces. I mean, they didn't really make a lot of offensive personnel changes or defensive
No, I
changes.
mean AJ Green being out all year hurt, obviously,
Yeah.
but
And help show Tyler Boyd's not a true number one.
Yeah, he's not. He needs somebody he needs
He's a
somebody,
TJ
he needs to be-
Hushmanzada,
Yeah, he needs to be the
Muhammad Sanu
complement.
type guy.
He needs to compliment someone. So, Bills Texans
Buffalo, baby.
could go either way, in my opinion.
I'm on Buffalo all the way.
Yeah, I'm on Buffalo, obviously.
I'll take the Texans.
I think it's going to be another close game, 23-20, somewhere in that range. But
Yeah, it's not going to be an offensive fireworks display.
no, I don't think so either. I mean, the Bills' pass defense, I think the matchup matches up well for Buffalo. I mean, obviously their strength is Watson, Hopkins, but Tre'Davious White's going to be on Hopkins. I know you can't really stop Hopkins. He's going to he's going to have an average game. But, I mean, keep him out of the end zone, then you're going to be good.
Yeah, and still question marks of health with Will Fuller.
Yeah.
I mean, as much as we like Kiki QT and Kenny Stills, they're not Will Fuller.
No.
And, that you don't have to account as much for them. They could very well shift coverage hard towards Hopkins, and you can shut down someone like that. Think about, at the beginning of the season, what they did with Devontae Adams, literally triple coverage on the guy. And Carlos Hyde's been fine, but
And that's going to be their key. Houston running the ball with Hyde. I think that for Houston to win, I think Hyde's going to have a big game.
Speaking of Kiki Kuti and Will Fuller and everyone else not named DeAndre Hopkins, let's assume that the Texans pick 26th. With the 26th pick in the NFL draft, the Houston Texans select healthy receiver.
Yeah.
Healthy receiver.
or J.K. Dobbins.
Yeah.
I wasn't being serious. I'm just saying they need a healthy.
I know where you're coming from.
They need a guy that can stay healthy opposite DeAndre Hopkins.
But I'll make a better argument back that they need a stud running back to take some of that pressure.
Again, I was not being serious on that pick. I was not opening up the Texans draft possibilities. I just think they need a healthy wide receiver.
Dobbins would be a good fit. Dobbins going to be a good fit anywhere.
Yeah.
What the hell?
Finished the exact same stats, literally yards, touchdowns, as Jonathan Taylor. That's incredible.
Yeah, as long as everybody comes out, this draft class is loaded.
It's loaded. So, anything else on Bills Texans? Do you guys have any DFS opinions on the Bills Texans?
I'm heavy. Like literally Fairbairn is the only Texan I have because I went Allen, Singletary, Brown.
I don't love Singletary again. I J.J. Watt being back, lighting a spark for that defense against the run game. I mean, I think if anything, John Brown gets behind the defense a little bit.
I do like John Brown a lot this week.
Don't like Singletary as much.
I've got Bills defense and Hauschka, and like I said, Fairbairn. But that just becomes that becomes a what's it cost to put players in situation. Though.
Yeah.
Like, do I think Nook's going to be productive? Yeah,
Probably.
Yeah, he's going to have production, but can I afford him? If him and John Brown? No, you can't.
I know this
I
probably
mean, you
doesn't.
can if you throw some weird players in there.
I know
Throw
this
some
probably
odd ones in
doesn't
the mix.
really mean anything, but I was looking at the stats and stuff on this game, and Buffalo, 3 of the 5 teams beat Buffalo this year were top 5 offenses that ran the RPO, the run pass option. Houston's number 3 of plays ran out of that style. So
Interesting.
It is interesting.
That's good stuff.
I mean,
Okay,
was-
so who beat him?
Philly, Cleveland, and Baltimore were the 3 teams of the 5.
Well, Baltimore's a different animal because you think,
Right.
But they do run the RPO. I mean,
But the running back talent's
They were number 1
up
I
there,
think
and the,
Philly was 4, Cleveland was 5, and the amount of plays ran out of that style of offense.
Right.
And Houston's number 3. So I saw that and I was like, oh, that's interesting.
It
Because
is.
Maybe they struggle against that style of offense. So
they're not as impressive as they have been in the past against the run. That's for sure.
yeah, no, they've allowed 4.3 yards per carry against them this year.
But all right, so flip it the other way though. How bad is Houston's pass defense?
267 yards passing a game allowed.
I mean,
The run game's not very good either. They allow 4.8 yards per carry.
but can the
So-
Bills capitalize? I love Josh Allen as much as the next guy, but it's not like he is not rose to the upper echelon of passers in the
No.
league.
echelon. Anyway, they're
I say echelon.
well, you're wrong.
Echelon Musk. Cyber Cruck.
But Houston's third in touchdowns allowed to the quarterback.
Yeah.
I mean, they let it go on them. I mean, you can score on them. That's the biggest downfall for Houston is you can score on them. I don't think that the Bills have an elite offense, but they have a good one.
That's why I like John Brown this week. Another stat I saw, I don't have it wrote down, but the average depth of target against Houston was like one of the worst in the league. So, I mean,
Not upper echelon.
people could get down the field on them.
I think John Brown's going to ball this week.
Yeah, I like John Brown a lot.
Same.
So I actually need to put in a John Brown captain lineup. So
The only lineup I made for that game is a John Brown captain lineup.
interesting. I've got the Josh Allen. Josh Allen's such chalk, but I feel like it's going to work.
I'll actually share that lineup with you right now. It's John Brown, captain. Got Josh Allen, Bills defense, Singletary, and this could vary with Fuller playing or not, but I got Kiki, and then I got Carlos Hyde.
Man, having Kiki's got so much promise.
Yeah, and that's
But so much
only
inconsistency.
Only if Fuller sits.
Yeah.
If Fuller sits, I'll play Kiki.
So
Because I think they'll try a lot of Duke Johnson could be good for this game because I think Houston could try a lot of underneath stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Tight end, Duke Johnson, Kiki. I think that might be where they need to go.
Viking Saints.
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 I think this is going to be a fun game.
I think it could be a shootout.
I think it's a fun game. I think it's one of those fun games where Thielen actually makes an appearance and does something to the point to where it's not just a blowout.
So that's funny to say. I mean, I put one lineup in. I put in several. That might be the most lineups I put in out of any game, but I did throw in a Thielen lineup. And it opened some stuff up. I mean, Thielen, Cook, Kamara, Cousins.
Flower.
I mean, you get a little cheap at the end with Rudolph and Lutz, but Lutz, whatever you say his name.
Echelon.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, not a lot of people are
pronounce
going.
it Lutz.
Not a lot of people are going to be playing Adam Thielen, especially as captain. I mean, since he's
No,
been back,
not captain.
he had like a
Excuse me, it's Thielen.
shut up.
Elon Musk.
He had like a 2-point game and like 0.6 or something. Like, what did he do? Get a tackle? I mean,
Sacks.
Yeah,
Sacks.
I think Minnesota can hang with them,
Agreed.
but I think it's going to be
Saints.
Saints win.
Yeah, they win.
I think Saints beat him by 30.
30,
Saints are legit
like a
Super Bowl
34
contenders.
to
20.
20.
Yeah.
Saints are humming, boys.
They are. And I mean, Drew Brees. You know what? Is there anyone better to listen to pregame than Drew Brees?
Dude, Drew Brees is awesome.
Just the way he jacks those guys up. Like, I want Drew Brees in my bedroom right before the lights go off. Like, you're going to get in there. You're going to get in there, and you're going to give her what she needs, and we're going to go to the championship, and you're going to do it. And I'm going to be like, thank you, Drew. And I'll be just sweating, and he'll just be standing there, just head cocked, shaking his head with his arms crossed, like, that's right. That's right.
So does he stay?
I don't know. I don't know. If they happen to win it all, I think he walks off into the
I do
sunset.
too. Yeah,
He's talking about staying in your bedroom.
Yeah, staying in your bedroom, but we'll go with that.
Anyhow.
Well, yeah, he's got a snack with us
didn't
afterwards.
know.
No, he's not leaving because he's got records to set out of reach for people.
I mean, doesn't mean he doesn't do it
He
with a
probably
different
retires
team.
the same year Tom Brady retires.
Okay.
Maybe
So-
Miami does it right this time. Like, all right, Drew, come on, Culpepper, you sit. Drew, come in. Come.
I mean, obviously records are going to be broken eventually.
It's going to be a long time.
But I mean, who's even close that has enough playing time left that's going to approach his numbers?
Brady's right behind him
Yeah.
in everything. I know, but if we add 5 years to Brady's career and only 3 to
Well,
Drew's, it's
yeah.
Brady can pass him in everything. One more year, either way, whoever lasts the longest wins.
That's what Drew said in my bedroom. That's
Whoever
exactly what the
lasts
pep
the
talk
longest
was.
wins.
That's exactly what the pep talk. Whoever lasts the longest wins.
One player I'm on in every single lineup in this. Well, Kamara is in every single lineup.
Kamara. I gotta correct you there.
I know. You're right. You are right. It's Kamara. Yeah,
It's Kamara.
Super Sport Kamara. But I've got Kamara and I've got a lot of
Jesus, Kamara.
Kamara. Damn it. And I've got a lot of Jared Cook shares in here. So
It's Jared Cock.
shut up. But man, the guys are expensive. I'll tell you who I don't think is going to have a great game. I don't think Michael Thomas has that 30-point game you expect out of him. I think, and also remember, there's still bad blood from the whole Marcus Williams, Stephon Diggs thing. Like,
Oh yeah, that's beautiful too. It's beautiful.
I think that this.
And Williams is a better player this year too.
Oh, absolutely. I think that this is that we're going to do everything we can to shut down Stephon Diggs. He's not going to be the reason we lose if we lose. Dalvin has not been himself lately. I'm off of Dalvin a lot in most of my lineups.
He hasn't played.
I know, but even his last few games, he wasn't that good. So, I mean, he's Dalvin. He's still good, but he wasn't first 10 weeks of the season Dalvin. So
Well, if they have any chance of winning, he's going to have to be good.
that's where I think it's an issue.
Alvin versus Dalvin.
I think Kamara and Jared Cook ball out in this game.
Cook's really paid dividends over the second half of the season for them.
Oh, it's like he catches a touchdown or two every game, man.
Yeah, just one of those free
Well, they
agents
just-
going to take a minute kind of
They
situation.
just don't have he's basically their number 2 because they don't have anybody that's stepped up.
Yeah, they're in desperate need of receiver help.
Other than Indy,
Traquan played okay last week.
other than Indy, so San Fran 2 touchdowns, Indy 0, Tennessee 2 touchdowns, and Carolina a touchdown. I mean, that's Cook's last 4 weeks.
Yeah.
So Jared Cook, not Dalvin.
Yeah.
Sorry.
A lot of cooks in the kitchen. A
But
lot of Dalvins and Alvins.
I will say, if you put one of the main guys, one of the big guys like a Michael Thomas or someone as your captain, you got to get pretty darn creative. You just better hope like Irv Smith catches a touchdown or something.
Yeah, and there's
Yeah,
too
I
many.
mean-
There's too many good players in this game to go with Thomas as your captain. There's just too many. There's too many options that aren't cheap.
I think where he's came on.
Kamara.
I'm not going to stop saying it.
Well, I'm not saying echelon.
But over his past few weeks, I mean, 2 touchdowns, the last 2 rushing touchdowns, last 2 games in a row. I think he continues that trend. I think that's the reason you've got to get him in. And I think they're
What Drew said in my bedroom
Okay,
again.
that's
Got to get it in.
That's why you got to get him in. I was like, it's never not that easy, Drew.
I will tell you, I'm off of Diggs. I don't have Diggs in
Yeah.
but one lineup. I've got Cook in, I think 2, and I have 1 Kirk Cousins share and this is over like 8 lineups. I think Kirk Cousins is good, and
How much money you spending this weekend?
I don't want to talk about that right now. It'll be over $200 invested once I do a couple. Take the money from the Brill and.
I was about to say I haven't even got you your Brill money yet.
Yeah, we're going to put that one to a vote. I submitted my lineups to the back row, and we're going to put it to a vote and see which I'm probably going to play 2 or 3 lineups out of that 100. So
Man. All right.
All right, one more game.
Seahawks, Eagles. I think this has the makings of a possible upset.
Yeah, I'm leaning Philly.
I'm leaning Philly as well. I mean, Seattle's been really
I don't
good.
have a real good reason for why, but I'm just feeling Philly.
Miles Sanders is
I was
my
going to say,
real
I
good
do. His
reason.
name's Miles Sanders.
Yeah, I'm feeling it for Miles this week.
And even Boston Scott.
God, quit
Yeah.
fucking mentioning that guy.
He had 3 touchdowns last week. Why wouldn't I?
But I just stop. He doesn't follow up a big week with another big week.
My point is, whatever. I'm not even going to argue with you right now.
Thank the sweet Lord above for that.
I think a big thing with Philly is if Ertz, they need Ertz to play this week. He's questionable. I think he plays, but they're so banged up. I like Philly. I don't know. I just think
Speak it, Hux.
I like-
the atmosphere. I think it's playoff time. Philly fans are going to be freaking nasty like they always are. I don't know. I just think Seattle loses. They're going to.
Yeah, just Tyler Lockett lets him down.
Yeah, I don't know.
He's not worth a 5th round pick.
Yeah, he is.
No,
I think so.
I've got
not with AJ Brown entering the fold. Debo Samuel.
Samuel Debo.
as of right now, the only lineup I have submitted. I don't know where the other one's at, but I've got Miles Sanders as my captain.
My captain.
I think that he's going to be the difference maker. Now, you do have the question because I believe Jordan Howard's back this week. They are expecting him to contribute, which would
But
To
old Bon Scott.
be to the detriment of Boston Scott. But he's got a role. He's not.
ACDC, old Bon Scott. He's not getting 3 touchdowns.
I didn't say he's getting 3 touchdowns.
But he has a role in the offense.
Yeah. Sitting the bench since Jordan Howard's back.
Spelling Miles Sanders is his role.
Belling Jordan Howard.
By the way, some of the touchdowns they give him, it's like you've got like a 72-pound scat back, and you give him a 2-yard carry from the, a goal line carry from the 2. Come on.
Just stop. Stop with the Scott.
I won't say this a lot, but I do like DK Metcalf this week.
Woo! I love DK
Kyler
Met-
Murray. Oh,
We can't even say that anymore because their season's over. But I love DK Metcalf.
Yeah, I can't say that.
I don't know if I love him, but I like him this week.
Okay. Well, I'm sure he appreciates the fact that you like him this week.
I'm sure he does too. We talked about it.
Yeah. I mean, I've seen him post on Twitter like, "Why does Arms hate me?
He probably has.
Why does Arms hate
I
me?"
know it
Just
really
because
affects him.
my arms are comparable to his arms, he's got a chip on his shoulder. It's like, DK, you got him beat on every other body part.
Listen,
It's fine.
All I'm going to say is, like, if I took this off, it'd be very comparable to DK Metcalf. And by this, I mean, like, my body of fat. Like, my shell of fat around my muscles. Yes, I'd be very comparable to DK.
You're just like a Cadbury egg. You just got to get past the shell.
There you go. And get to the disgusting part. I mean, the shell's the only good part of a Cadbury egg.
True.
Yeah.
Oh,
You got to get past what's under the shell. All the heavy cream.
So those are the 4 games. We're gonna give our Super Bowl prediction.
Yeah, because we'll need it to go all the way through. I do believe the Ravens get there,
I agree.
so I do think it's the Ravens, and I am going to go with the Saints. I think it's going to be Ravens, Saints, and I think Drew Brees walks away with one.
Ditto.
I guess the consensus is here. Saints
Wow.
Ravens. Saints win.
Now, is it going to shock anyone if it's San Fran KC?
No.
No.
Is it going to shock anyone if it's San Fran KC?
No.
I just
Is that-
said
is
that.
that what it
Literally
is?
I'm
just
sorry.
said that.
I'm sorry. God, I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
nobody. It's not going to shock anybody except for you because you're not listening.
Sorry. You talk so much I have to pick what I hear. But you've done well this episode.
Whatever.
You've done well. I'm proud. Are you proud?
Yeah. Anyways, me being a Buffalo fan, obviously,
Don't even.
my dream Super Bowl is Buffalo, San Francisco, the Super Bowl that Chris Berman wanted every year in the 90s, he predicted.
I thought you should have said the Bills, Buffalo, versus the Vikings or
What, a team they can beat? Is that what you're saying?
yeah. I mean, that would be my dream scenario if Miami was in the playoffs.
I
Like,
want
give
them
me-
to play the 49ers in the Super Bowl.
Like, give me Miami versus the Lions.
Now, let me ask this. Does this look like the most balanced, top to bottom playoffs you guys have seen in years, so?
Yeah,
Yeah, there's
I
no.
think so.
I mean, I know we all said Saints Ravens, but there's no clear front runner. I don't think.
The only thing I wish was a little different, and I hate saying this because I'm really actually glad they're not in the playoffs, but the Steelers not being in there, the Steelers would make it a little like if it was the Steelers in place of the Titans, I guess. The Titans deserve. Listen. I know the Titans deserve to be there, and it's great that they're there. But like, if this was last year and we had these teams in the playoffs, the Steelers just they have
It's
that
almost
history
like
of
they
being able
freaking
to.
belong is what the problem is.
They
It's
have
just-
they have the history that they can beat anyone at any time.
Yeah.
So for them to be missing, like, is a little odd. But as far as like just basing it off 2019 and what we saw, yeah, this is the perfect playoff picture.
I feel like, and I know that they won their division, but the misplaced team here is the Texans.
Well, the Eagles too. I mean, what they finished 9-7 and won
Yeah,
the division.
nine
Well,
and
that's a
seven.
terrible division.
Yeah.
so-
And the Eagles weren't great. So, I mean, the Eagles make it a tiny bit weak, but they have the potential to win. We called it.
Well, the Miles Sanders coming on at the end had a big factor in that.
Right.
And Wentz going from looking like they needed a quarterback to actually being, above average.
Wentz is
Oh yeah.
good.
Yeah.
I didn't say he wasn't good, but at the
No, I
beginning of the
know, I
season
know.
he wasn't really good at the beginning of the season. Towards the end, he started bringing it back on.
I'm backing you up. I mean, they don't need a quarterback. I know you weren't saying he was bad. You're so sensitive tonight.
I'm not sensitive.
Bauer said the
sensitive.
Eagles have signed Elijah Holyfield.
I do. That's interesting.
We like Elijah Holyfield. Me and Arms do. I don't know about Hux.
I loved Holyfield.
I mean, what? Why? Why they sign him?
Injuries. Basically every running back they have is questionable.
Because the Bond,
Sign a wide receiver.
The Bond Scott kid just shouldn't be on the team. That's what Elijah Holyfield.
3 touchdowns. You
Last
liked
week.
him like a month ago. You loved him in a game and it hit, and now you hate him. It's great.
He only hits on there's one or two, and you gotta let him go. It's the same thing as Jonas Gray. You gotta Elsa. You gotta let him go.
Okay.
Let him go. Man, look at that. What else we got? We're going off the rails a little bit. Let's go off the rails for 10 minutes. If
You want to place a coach? You guys want to play a little? Actually, you know what I want to
No,
talk
I
about.
want to go off the rails. I don't want to talk about football at all.
I want to talk about football, but I want to talk about college football.
I don't want to talk about that shit. You're
Ellen-
going to talk about how the Buckeyes got
No,
robbed.
I don't.
Go
that's-
Clemson.
No, I'm not going to talk about that.
What the hell are
I'm
we
talking
talking
about. So, right now, arguably the best 2 quarterbacks in college football. Arguably, Trevor
Yeah.
Lawrence is in the conversation
Yeah.
at least.
Oh, yeah.
Joe Burrow, definitely him too. Trevor, probably.
Yeah, I mean, you're looking
you're 3.
Burrow, Trevor, the next 2 number 1 picks.
Yeah. So, does LSU even look beatable?
No.
Yeah.
Man, you're
No.
nuts.
Clem-
I'm telling you, I think
I'm
they
going
they
Cle-
win by around 30.
I
I think
Clem-
they win by
think-
3 scores
I
anyway.
think Clemson wins the game.
I think LSU is going to beat Ohio State as well. And the Buckeyes
Hey, I
and
said it
Clemson
before.
game was basically an even match.
I agree.
LSU don't have an even match.
100% agree. And this isn't about the SEC because they rolled the SEC too. Or the whole SEC. They just walked through it. Even if you go back and look at the score of the Alabama game, they dominated the first half of that Alabama game. They took their foot off the gas.
What are we going to do if Joe Burrow throws another 7 or 8 touchdowns in the championship game?
Joe Burrow threw more touchdowns this year in Mercedes-Benz Stadium than Matt Ryan.
Yeah. It's
He
sad.
played. Jesus Christ.
8 games to 1. Same amount of touchdowns.
I mean, seriously, if he does this, like, how is he not a legendary status?
Right now, if he wins the national championship, Joe Burrow is in the conversation as the greatest college quarterback to ever play the game.
I don't know about that.
I don't know about all that.
Greatest single season.
Yeah, greatest
of a college
single
quarterback.
season.
Okay, but-
sure.
Who are you taking?
I'm just saying. I don't know. You asked me too quick.
I'll take Joe Burrow in any game over Tim Tebow.
After college, yeah.
No, in college, any game, Joe Burrow over Tim Tebow. Anybody else?
I don't
Nah,
Are we,
Like I
going to
said,
go over anybody else? Because he's 3 touchdowns away from like a Colt McCoy or Case Keenum all-time touchdown record for a single season, and he did it in the SEC. He didn't do it in the American Conference or the Sun Belt. He did it in the freaking SEC. I mean, it's incredible. I mean, granted, I've got the Joe Burrow love because he's just from down the road.
No,
I do too.
I like the
yeah,
kid.
I think
Yeah.
we all do. But you got to be a little realistic here. Best college quarterback to ever play the game. I mean, honest to God, he one season. There's college quarterbacks that have been extremely good their whole college career. I'm not handing Joe Burrow that title.
No, like I said,
Legendary season.
single season, all time great. Sure.
But one of the guys you would make the argument for would be Vince Young. And it was one season. Another guy you'd make the argument for is Cam Newton. And guess what?
Matt
it was
Leinart.
one season. Matt Leinart did it for about 3 seasons.
Danny Warfel.
But
A weird name, I know. But
I'll give you that. I don't hate Danny Warfel for what he did in college, but he's not even the best quarterback to ever play for Florida. In college.
Colt Brennan was pretty good.
That was Hawaii. They were playing freaking nobody.
Graham Harrell was pretty good. Kellen Moore. Johnny
Jesus Christ.
Manziel.
That's the Big 12. Well, Manziel, I think, played, a year in the SEC?
Sam Bradford.
Big 12. No defense. My point is,
Marcus Mariota had a pretty good college career.
Pac-12. No defense.
Listen, the SEC at times showed this year that he didn't have no defense either. So
Yeah.
this wasn't your typical SEC this year, I don't think.
You get him, Hux.
As you say that, you think that the LSU is going to dominate. No, you don't. You think Clemson.
No, I think
you
Clemson's gonna win.
Nah, you're wrong.
Yeah, you're wrong.
I probably will be wrong, but that's what I'm going with.
Where's that Brian Hux? I must be the wrong one button.
The only team they played in, the top 10 was Iowa State?
Yeah, they won that game.
No argument there. Although, since we were going to
There's
say
arguments. No, I'm not going to go down that road.
it's getting old.
I'm
Though.
a Buckeyes fan. I agree. It's over.
It's getting old. There's
over.
so many games decided by bad calls. It's just getting old.
There was like 3 or 4, but it is what it is.
It is.
The game's over. I think I've said it before. I've said it on Twitter. I believe I've said it on the podcast. LSU will be any team can be any team in the country by 30.
We need every single football game from here on out to have some kind of panel sitting by to review these plays. Not 1 or 2 people, not one on the field, one in the booth. We need a panel.
The SEC replay guy, I believe, got fired over this.
He should have.
It wouldn't surprise me. It was
Like,
there was a couple bad calls.
The worst part about it is the calls on the field
Just hate seeing games
were
decided.
mostly right.
Well, yeah.
And then they overturn
they
it.
overturn that. Yeah,
Overturn it in
fumble,
replay.
yeah.
They called out, buzz down like, we're going to review this. Okay, the one was the sack. Wade getting the targeting penalty.
yeah.
It's like, no, Trevor Lawrence tucked, and that is another thing that's right now wrong with football. Is you go in leading with your shoulder, the other guy lowers down to brace for the hit, and guess what? It's targeting all of a sudden. These kids are running 4.4s and 4.5s. You can't just pull up at the last second and not get that sack.
Funny you said that kid tucked. Another thing Drew Brees tried to tell me to do in his pep speech. Tuck it. No.
That's kind of
Kind of
Drew.
odd.
that's kind of an odd.
No, Drew.
Yeah,
Not doing it, buddy.
I mean he knows though. I mean
I'd
maybe that's
like
something.
to feel the breeze. I'm not tucking it.
All right.
Hey, thanks for listening this week, guys. We came in under an hour, and I better end it now, or we'll go over.
Yeah, I guarantee it.
We didn't go off the rails, but hey, join us tomorrow morning. The reaction videos will be up. Back Row Reacts on YouTube. We're going to have a little bit of fun after the show. So be sure to subscribe, rate, and review to this podcast, The Back Row Fantasy Show, as if you didn't know, at The Back Row Show on Twitter. And what else, Arms? You're good with our call to action.
Just subscribe, rate, and review. Tell your friends. That's another one. My God.
Share it.
Please tell your
Share
friends.
it.
We've got a little bit of merch that we can throw out if necessary.
No,
It's
you're good.
Not a... Good night.
Peace.
This concludes another episode of the Back Row Fantasy Show. Thanks for listening, and be sure to give us a review.